So the upper body is really important. If I drop, let's say we got great tension here, but then when I drop, I do this. Nothing happened. The vertebrae were like this. I set it up, and then I dropped, and I did this to them. So I just kept everything exactly where they were when I dropped. And when you drop, if that's the tension, the drop should do this. Just a little bit. So you want to make sure that you keep the upper body where it is, and you rotate the lower body. But it's not, I'm not doing this. That's not going to do it. I mean, you might be able to do that on some patients, but it's the drop that actually does it. When you actually drop, if you keep your arms exactly where they are, you just contract your whole core and your pecs, and that generates the force through the tissue. But it's the positioning that does it. If we got them at tension here, then technically all I need to do is this. Like I could do a manipulation like that as long as I was really specific with my tension. It's not the most efficient way to do it because I'm using small muscles to do that. So instead, we get him at tension, and let's just pretend we're at tension. And he's going to inhale and exhale. And on the exhale, I come up like this. I keep that tension there. I keep everything where it is, and then I drop. And that increases that little bit of torque. And that's about all you need when you do the manipulation. Maybe a little bit quicker, but it should only be just I keep everything at tension. I raise my body up a little bit, and then I drop everything down. And notice everything. That's what's important about contacting the legs, the hips, the body. When I do this, I'm actually rotating his lower body. When I keep his upper body where it is, that rotation creates that torque. If I don't do that, and I just do this, I just slammed his trochanter. That's all I did. Against my sternum. I didn't do anything. Even if I did that with a punch, I just slapped his back. And I didn't do anything. It doesn't happen. I can't create lumbar rotation by just dropping on the patient and then punching their back. If you could, then I would just have patients stand up and I would go around and do like crazy kung fu moves on them and just adjust everybody, which I wish I could do, because then I could write off my ninja suit. You can't. So you got to get that position first. So everybody wants, as soon as people were getting into the position, they're like, okay, what about the thrust? You don't get to do the thrust until that position's perfect. Once you get it there, then literally it's just, you get the position and you just do a quick little drop. It's here, and I'm not keeping Jam at tension because I don't necessarily want to adjust his back, but just like that, and drop. That's all it should be, not that hard. Sometimes I have to do a little bit harder, so I do a second drop, but if I have to do it any harder than my second drop, it's because I messed up on the setup. I didn't do it very well. So get into that same position, have your patient take a deep breath, and if you don't want to drop at tension, the key is to just let a little bit of that upper body relax. And you can even play, like, find tension, ask your partner if they're at tension, and just let that upper body go a little bit, and they'll say, oh, that tension's gone. It's safe to thrust when you're there. If something pops, it was probably going to pop. If you let that tension go and something still pops, it was probably, they probably could have just turned to one side and had a pop on their own. So if your partner wants you to drop on tension, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. But just make sure that you can find that tension, you get that tension, you keep everything there, and you can drop basically onto your contact. So notice my contact's not here. I can't drop onto it there. If I try to, I'm just going to slam his trochanters. If I roll him over a little bit more, now I can drop onto that contact. So if when I drop, I want to be able to like drop my sternum onto this part of my thumb while we're keeping him on the table. And he felt like he was going to fall off the table because I didn't have him at tension, and he's rolling off the table at this point. In a real manipulation, this part would be nice and stable. All right, let's try that.